Well, I have been working nonstop to combat this, so I do apologize. Someone aptly pointed out that I'm looking more and more disheveled, although I will say, regardless of that, my spirits are high. It's just I have to combat this garbage coming out of major media outlets and large channels, and it's tiring. And so I want to talk about the a garbage tier article from Kotaku, but then to spice this up, because I'm sure everyone's getting a little sick of this drama. I'm gonna share a bit of a movie that I was starred and put in by director some Russian bot, I believe. I'll link their Twitter channel. I'm gonna link it in the video just to raise everybody's spirits and let everyone know that I appreciate all of you. And I'm doing the best I can to combat everything as it's coming to me. But believe me, I don't want to be covering this much longer than this week. So hopefully this all dies down. Now, as we know, I've already covered premium garbage tier Polygon's article. So if you haven't seen that, I uploaded it last night. It's currently 3 a.m. and I'm running on E here. But I want to get this done so I can get it out to you while I sleep. So we have Magic cosplayer quit due to alleged harassment. Now, I will say, Adam, thank you for at least putting it in the title. Now, you didn't put it in the URL. It feels like an afterthought, but But what I want to show you all first is that he did, in fact, reach out to me, but curiously basically left most of this garbage unanswered. So his original email asked, I wanted to get your response to Sprankle's decision to leave the community, her singling out your channel specifically, and Wizard's tweet about the events. I know you've addressed this in a video, which went up late yesterday, but I couldn't be bothered to watch it. So in addition to any general comment you'd like to provide to the above, I'd also like to get your response, if possible, to the below. And I then said, I will answer in line. I said, to categorize one video 6 months ago, taking a lighthearted jab at being overly dramatic about a YouTube comment, and one tweet since as consistent harassment is absurd. There is a larger attack on my channel going on, which started via a tweet by Jeff Hoogland. I was an easy target in what appears to be a rough time in her life. While I sympathize with the rough time she is going through due to her irresponsible tweet, I have been undergoing a nonstop barrage of harassment, hundreds of nasty messages saying things like "die in an oil fire." My business has been review bombed with 1-star reviews calling me a sexist and a harasser, none of which is of course true. This has had real world negative effect on my business, and I'm exploring my options currently. He then asks, what prompted you to make the original video making fun of her cosplay? So I already knew where his head was at. The intent was not to make fun of her cosplay. Watch the video. It was to make fun of her being overly dramatic about a single YouTube comment and the mass of people rushing to her defense. Why don't you consider that type of targeting harassment? I said, can you tell me what type of criticism is acceptable without being targeted harassment? Is it fair that a person who receives this criticism claim harassment just to get off the hook and reverse position from criticized to the victim and then demand retribution against me? His next question. Do you think there are problems of sexism and targeted, this is like the new buzzword, toxic and targeted harassment are like the new YOLO for these people. Do you think there are problems of sexism and targeted harassment in the MTG community more generally, separate from how you'd characterize the events of this weekend? my reply. I do not think these problems exist in any larger number than the general population. With 10 million players, it would be foolish to think it doesn't happen. However, look at what is happening to me right now. It goes both ways. How do you define sexism and targeted harassment? Do you have any numbers to suggest there is a problem? Because that's my primary problem with the claim. It is unsubstantiated. Okay? So that was my reply. Let's see how much of that he used. And actually, to be honest, it is now the 30th, 2 full days after this was written, and I barely read through it because I knew what to expect. I will make a link to this Garbage 2 article in the description. Make sure to stay tuned for my mega blockbuster film debut coming up at the end here. This weekend, r/Magic was on lockdown after Christine Sprankle announced she was quitting due to persistent harassment. The post discussing it was her being driven from the hobby quickly went to the front page of Reddit and was temporarily locked. The finger of blame was pointed at YouTube channel Unsleeved Media. Related posts on subreddit were locked as prominent Magic community members showed their support of Sprankle and shared their own stories of harassment from Unsleeved Media. By the way, Shadowlay, my dudes, for subscribing to Unsleeved Media. I think we're gonna have a funny little meme to show a couple hundred new subscribers over there that we can link to this great promotional article from Kotaku. I think that'll be great to we can publicly thank them for all the new subscribers. So continue to subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And let's have a little bit of fun with this. You don't have to watch any of the videos. Maybe give them a try. I talk about a lot of the things behind me. Christine has regularly attended blah, 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 blah. Okay, this stuff is not important. When news of this spread to Reddit, things got out of control. Moderators temporarily locked down the thread and locked related threads to contain the discussion. In a sticky addressing the situation, the moderator explained, last night, in a post regarding a tweet from C Sprinkle Run was made. It was very successful. What does that even mean? It generated lots of discussion, some good and some bad. The post continued to climb in popularity, eventually reaching r/all. They're like proud of this. That's what's so funny. Like, this is what Reddit thinks about. Like, this is a big deal to them that all these more feminists and more feminist allies are really, read through this. They are genuinely proud to prop up the plight of a female to reach the front page of Reddit. Like, just think about that. Not being very good allies, are you? And the attention of some unsavory subreddits. With this newfound attention, users who are not a part of the community began to raid our subreddit, posting some pretty hateful things in hopes of stirring up more drama. Let me translate this to those of you who already haven't pre-translated this. All of a sudden, people started disagreeing and asking for evidence, and we started blocking. These people couldn't possibly be disagreeing. These people disagreeing with this narrative couldn't possibly be Magic players because we all agree. It is, if you want a hilarious meme, you can go over there and say that you hate my guts, but you don't think I'm guilty, and you will receive a lifetime ban. That is currently what's going on in day 2 or 3 of this. Reddit has gone in complete spin mode. I've had a lot of people reach out to me, and it's great. I hope they continue to do it, because all this is going to do is continue to show people who they really are. And all the moderate people, the vast majority of us, will continue to see them show their hand as pandering and political propagandists. And then they're going to look for more information. This is good for those of us who just want a fair trial. And then they say, on Reddit, it's common for people from outside a certain community to join in high-profile topics like this one. However, when there's a coordinated effort from another community to disrupt the conversation known as brigading, thanks for defining that, it can have detrimental effects on the original subreddit. This is like admitting propaganda, admitting that you're pre-filtering anything that might disagree with you and just labeling it as brigading. It's hilarious. Telling victims of harassment that it's just a joke, or to grow a thicker skin, this is a reference to me, to do nothing to help situations like this serve only to remove responsibility from people being assholes. No, that's what you're doing. You're removing the responsibility of people critiquing it and placing all of it solely on me. You are saying anybody who would possibly critique this is devoid of any individual thought. They are simply mindless drones of me and the quartering, this evil man. Ooh. To address this, another comment modders made, they are in full damage control at this point, made it clear that any attempts to support, deny, or dismiss the harassment would result in permanent ban from the subreddit. Simply asking for evidence would result in a permanent ban. Like, rest in pepperoni's Magic subreddit. Anybody who's a Magic player that's ever used it probably knows this already, but this is going to send floods of people to the light. I appreciate it. Sunlight's a great disinfectant. Telling victims of harassment that it's just a joke or grow thicker skin, blah, blah, blah. Oh, didn't I already read that? I might have read that. One of the locked threads was a screenshot of a tweet from Sprankle naming Unsleeved Media as a major antagonist in this saga. Her tweet. And again, why are these people so obsessed with my subscriber count? You know what? I think we should make that grow because, you know, this is so important to them. This is, I don't understand this. A lot of people that produced terrible critique videos of me really dwelled on that number. You would think that the total subscribers was like a monthly paycheck to these people. It comes across as just being petty and jealous. It completely discredits like the argument when you dwell on how big or how small a channel is. Shouldn't you be able to argue the idea in its own merit? I mean, why does the number of subscribers? Oh, I get it. This is about pushing a narrative, right? Includes, this is funny. It includes a range of Magic videos, including defamatory content like this video, which, by the way, isn't even on that channel. It's on this on this channel where you're watching this right now. So they took a video that isn't even on this channel and linked it. Pretty interesting. Good investigation, Kotaku. And I like how they put it in parentheses, satirically accusing Magic head designer Mark Rosewater of sexual harassment based on a Twitter poll. That is a gross misrepresentation of the video. If you watch it, I am using a Twitter poll to debunk the head of Magic the Gathering R&D, Mark Rosewater, used a Twitter poll that said something like 73% of women or of men harass women in Magic the Gathering. It was some absurd thing. And when people challenged him, he quoted a Twitter poll. So I started a Twitter poll and said, hey, have any of you been abused by Mark Rosewater? Please be honest, internet. And of course, hundreds of victims came forward. So by his same logic, well, it must be true. Other Magic the Gathering community members, including Hall of Famer Eric Froelich, again, why is that relevant? Of their own allegations. But where are they? You didn't link one. Oh, here one is. Here's Tulare Community College. No one has made me more miserable than that man. No one has spread more vile lies and attacks. I've lost sleep. I've had panic attacks. No more. If you watch his response video, he also talks about the Holocaust because, you know, that's related. So, I mean, let's, you know, this is a man who invoked the Holocaust to try and prove his point. Here's serial racist Jimmy Wong, who's constantly, I mean, look at his Twitter. He tweets horribly racist things all the time, but it's totally accepted because they're about white people, obviously. I won't dignify him with an @ mention. Those of us in the community know exactly who he is, and unfortunately, some of us know intimately well how he rasses and operates on a daily basis. Really, this guy knows how I operate? Most of the time, I'm actually working. I have about 5 or 6 clients at any given time, and I'm working from about 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, like on real world things. I make these YouTube videos for fun. And to challenge myself to grow intellectually. That's the whole reason I started the quartering, is because I was getting bored with just doing magic. This is a good way for me to grow. Anyway, I refuse to. He has to go. What really upsets me is that nothing actually happened this weekend. People just decided enough and to make a stand. This has been going on for years, and to know and have known about it for years. Even people inside WotC have been harassed by these people. I shouldn't have to come to this. WotC virtue signaled, and I said on Twitter, Unsaved Media responded on Twitter to the controversy, claiming people should dig deeper and look for the truth, while accusing others of faux outrage. Way to frame my argument. The funny thing is, they link later, they just link a picture of my video. They don't link my video where I lay out in chapter and verse that this whole thing is absurd. Of course they didn't do that. But they did put 20 screenshots of everybody talking about me, linking literally anybody saying anything bad about me. They also go on to actually link, you can't see it because no clicks for you, but they actually link Tulare Community College is terrible video. So they give him the spotlight, right? His 20-minute video where, remember, this is akin to the Holocaust for him. Getting a tweet calling him a WotC shill is, remember that now. So they made sure everyone saw that. So now I'm going to make sure everyone sees my side of it. In reaction to the drama, another magic YouTuber, The Professor, posted a video detailing how many instances of alleged harassment, many instances of alleged harassment from Unsaved Media. You know what's interesting? How come they didn't mention how many subscribers he had, but they mentioned how many I had? That's an interesting omission. Why is it not important about how many he has, but it's only important when you're talking about how many I get it. The professor addresses Unsaved Media directly about the harassment. No, he doesn't. He has my cell phone number. He has my email. He has my Twitter. He has me on Skype. That would be direct. My phone suddenly rings, he says, as you well know how scary that is. And I say, oh, death threat. I guess Jeremy made another video or series of tweets about me, Professor says. Okay. Let me ask you this, Brian. You've seen me post mine. How come you haven't posted any of yours? I've actually contacted the police about 3 that I got this week. Did you contact the police, or are you just saying this? Because your integrity has strongly come into question when you feel it necessary to invoke the Holocaust to try to prove your point about mean tweets. You have been found completely morally and ethically bankrupt, and you choose to try and hold others to standards that you clearly do not hold yourself to. So why would I believe this story, Professor? Well, Kotaku believed it, of course. There are clips about Unsaved Media talking about Sprinkle and her Patreon. He calls Sprinkle a serial virtue signaler and crying for Patreon dollars. Well, she literally cried in her Patreon video. One of the most despicable things I've ever seen anyone do, and I'm ashamed that many of the 3 biggest magic Patreons out there, 2 of them cried in their video, and 1 of them did it because he lost his job. These are manipulative snakes. Instead of asking for Patreon because people like your content. By the way, I have a Patreon. Feel free to back me. Even $1 helps. See, that's how you shill, friends. Now, their methodology is more effective than mine. Last time I saw, before he hit it, Brian was raking in about $6,000 a month on Patreon, plus another $6,000 to $10,000 a month on YouTube ads, plus his exclusive sponsorship deals. This guy sounds like a real victim. Another instance highlighted in the video shows Unsaved Media accusing a Magic Pro of pedophilia after a disagreement on Twitter. No, that is not correct. He's not a Magic Pro. He's a serial virtue signaler who's constantly spewing hate about me on his Twitter feed. And I said his smile is a classical pedo smile. I did not say he was a pedophile. I said he had a pedo smile. Like, he does. I mean, look at the guy. The video concludes in a heartfelt statement. All I consider is that you consider the ramifications of your actions and ask yourself what kind of person you want to be. Interesting. So again, as I've already proven, his entire argument is that my words have all sorts of power, and I, of course, am personally responsible for what any of you mindless drones just do. But then he does the exact same thing. I wish this was more difficult. I wish that I had had a worthy opponent. This is the best. The professor is the absolute best the Magic the Gathering community had to offer, and he was terrible. But I'm still going to get banned on Friday. My insiders tell me it's, I guess, 12 to 24 months now, and it's going to come down late Friday because, of course, that's what they'll do. They'll do it at the end of a media cycle so that, less people can. But rest assured, I'm off work on Friday. I'll have my eye on my email. And when that comes through, and I know it will, we're going to have a lot of fun looking at the evidence that they sent me because it's hilarious. This message you want to send out to the world. So they dedicate all this, right? And then they say, Unseen's media response was to call the video unsubstantiated lies. They didn't take any quotes from my videos. They didn't take a single quote that I sent them. I showed you everything I sent Kotaku. None of it's in here. They reported on tweets. And the comments are, of course, hilarious. If this guy has a bunch of subscribers, then it's more than just one person. Clearly, there is a part of this community that follows and believes in this guy. No, look, people make individual decisions. You know how many people I'm subscribed to on YouTube that I don't like their content? 0. Being subscribed to somebody or following somebody on Twitter does not mean you're like an auto extension. You're not a proxy vote. Sorry, I've been talking nonstop for like 6 hours. You can probably tell in my voice. It's been a long week, and I want to end this with, hopefully it doesn't get copyright flagged. I'm going to end this with a bit of fun and a huge thank you to all of you for spreading this stuff out because the tide is turning. Yes, I'm going to get banned. I'm not going to be mad about it. We're going to have a ton of fun pointing out that they won't hold anyone else to the same standards as me. We're making a difference. Hundreds of people are emailing me. I just did a live stream with 1,000 people on it. I know to a lot of people that doesn't sound like a lot, but the biggest live stream I've ever done was about 200 people. There was 1,000 people on there. The overwhelming majority of them issuing words of support. Like, people are waking up to this and fighting back. And I couldn't be happier. This stress and extra work couldn't be more worth it because it matters. We're making a difference. So enjoy my big screen debut. And I hopefully won't have much to say till Friday. And then hopefully I'll get to cover something else other than Magic drama really soon. Thanks for watching, everyone. And we'll talk to you again real soon.